Welcome back to the Newport Gulls pregame show. This is the Broadcasters Roundtable. I'm joined, as always, by Newport Gulls team publicist Matt Tonis and the voice, one of the two voices of the Plymouth Pilgrims, Hunter Julius. And Matt, I'll start with you. What a difference a year makes with these two teams. The Newport Gulls at this time last year were struggling to get a playoff spot, going through a very rough losing streak after the All-Star game. The Plymouth Pilgrims last year, as we both know, were at something like 23-6 going into the All-Star break. Now this year, the Pilgrims struggling to get into that fourth spot. Newport Gulls in first place by 2 games. It shows the overturn in this league.
Yeah, overall this year has been a lot more. There's been a lot more parity this season in the NECBL than there was last year. Bradley Smart, who works up in Vermont, did a study on it, and this has been one of the biggest the smallest discrepancies between first place and last place in a long time in this league, and it's shown this year in who's beating who, and the series have been so close between all 12 teams in this league that it's going to be a really interesting last 10 games of this season.
And Hunter, going into for the Plymouth Pilgrims, the last 11 games of the season, the team is 13-17 overall, looking for that fourth spot, fighting with the New Bedford Bay Sox, and going up to the game on July 30th, where the Pilgrims will be at New Bedford, taking on the Bay Sox, a very important game there. What is the Plymouth Pilgrims looking at as far as the last 10 games in this stretch, trying to get that fourth spot?
Well, they're just, as you said, just fighting it out. One game behind New Bedford. The 31st, we're actually going to Danbury for a doubleheader, and the way the season's going, those 2 games should be very important, but right now, just taking it one day at a time.
Now, this is a series that is 3-1 in favor of the Newport Gulls, but that doubleheader very important for the Pilgrims. They put up 4 runs in both games in 14 innings against this Newport Gulls team, but they showed a lot of pop in their bats, and this Pilgrims team has a lot of power, 1 through 9.
That they do, and as you notice, leading the league in home runs, but unfortunately a lot of those home runs being solo shots, and as we saw against the last time Newport was there, as you mentioned, Rob, a doubleheader. Jeremy Wolf as well just put one over the fence, which was a multiple-run home run, and as you notice, more runs on base with that home run gave Newport the lead.
Matt, game 5 of 6. They have already won the series against the Ocean State Waves. They've won the series against New Bedford Bay Sox. How big is winning the series against the Plymouth Pilgrims here tonight?
You have to win as many series as possible in this league, especially in the division. It doesn't matter where they are in the division. The more games you win against teams in your division, the better off you are. That's all across the board in all sports, but especially in the NECBL with such a short season, and most of the league gets into the playoffs. So if you have that edge during the regular season, you kind of demoralize a team and you make them think, man, we really can't beat them. So if Newport can get at least one of these last 2 wins, especially they're both games at home, if they can definitely get both wins, then you've gone a long way into helping yourself both in the regular season and in the postseason.
Now, you and I both know this. The Pilgrims come in, and the only time that they've won here at Cardinals Field was Game 2 of the championship series last year, a game that you called, not I, so maybe it was my fault. But coming into Cardinals Field for the Pilgrims, they have a lot of pop in their bats. How important is it for Plymouth to get on the board early?
It's extremely important, especially for a team who's been as hot and cold as the Gulls have on offense. If Plymouth can get out to a lead and kind of let their pitching do the rest of the work, they'll be in really good shape. But as you said, Plymouth is 0 for Cardines in the regular season, and I think that mojo might be working against them right now until they can do something to jump out to a sizable enough lead where they can overcome it.
Now, Hunter, the keys to the game for the Pilgrims here to get a win. They want to split this series. I know they want to split this series against the Newport Gulls going into the playoffs. What are the 3 keys, at least for this team, to try to eke out a win here tonight against Newport?
Number 1 would definitely be superb starting pitching, and Plymouth had that going into the 4th inning of the last time that they were here until a 5-run tally in the 4th gave Newport that 5-2 edge. So if the starting pitcher can go 5, 6, possibly even 7 innings and give the bullpen not too much to work with, that should be 1. Not relying on Brent Rooker and Mandy Alvarez is number 2. If you can have your leadoff man getting a couple hits, just move base runners along, nothing too hard, just simple, small ball, and maybe a home run here or there, that's probably else. And also, when the bullpen does come in, you're going to have to give them a lot of defensive help. No errors, making sure if a ball is going into the outfield, get it into the infield quickly so that runners only have maybe a long single instead of turning 2.
It is a Southern Division rivalry game here tonight. Game 5 against the Plymouth Pilgrims and the Newport Gulls here tonight. Matt Tonis will be on the post-game show. I will have the call with Hunter Julius tonight on the NECBL Broadcast Network, and the Newport Gulls pregame show continues next.